श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि हृदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु। अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति। So we were seeing shloka number 28 and 29 in the last session where we ended, where Bhagwan is talking about different levels of understanding, which he is referring to from shloka number 11 onwards. So, before we move on with those shlokas and understanding, there is a particular question which Bhagwan is asking everyone. You know, there is this question which we ask some people, when they are arrogant or something. What do you think of yourself? That's a very common question which are, and people mind it also. Why are you asking like that? But Bhagwan is asking the same question here to us. What do you think yourself to be? What do you understand yourself to be? You can't say in response to this question that I have no idea about myself. That you can't say. There is some idea, basic idea about you which you must be walking with. So Bhagwan gave us 3 levels of understanding. People with 3 levels of understanding here. First level is Atma eva aham. Aham Atma. First level of understanding of a person. Who are you? I am nothing but the consciousness alone. What I see as all these is nothing but my own manifestation, and they will wind back into me, and I am nothing but the supreme consciousness alone. Aham Atma, first level of understanding. The second level of understanding which Bhagwan started with this shloka, when he says Atha Chainam Nityajatam 26 onwards, when Bhagwan shifted the gear, so Bhagwan and saw Arjun may not have understood himself to be the supreme consciousness. It doesn't matter. Let me see what Arjun understands himself to be. That's why he uses the word Tvam Manyase. Bhagwan says, he is not saying Aham Manye. This is not what his understanding is. Arjun, now you tell me, what do you understand yourself to be? Okay, forget for a moment that you don't understand or grasp yourself to be the supreme consciousness, the self which is all pervading, which I explained from 11 onwards up to 25th. Okay, that's fine, you didn't understand. Then let's get to the next level. What do you understand? So there are two more levels of understanding. One is Aham Atma, which I already spoke about. The second level which some people understand, rare few understand, is Jivaha Aham. Aham Jiva. I am what? A living being. Now remember, I didn't use the word human being here. I use the word what? Living being. That word is denoted in Sanskrit as Jiva. Now remember, if somebody understands himself to be a living being, a Jiva, what is the peculiarity versus other people who don't understand themselves to be Jiva also? If he understands himself to be Jiva, remember one thing very well, a Jiva is neither a male nor a female. A Jiva is neither a human nor an animal. A Jiva is neither any of those things which you have understood ourselves to be. So if he understands himself to be at least Jiva or a living being, his level of understanding is better. Bhagwan says, even Arjun, if you understand yourself, then also you have no reason to grieve upon. Now remember, Bhagwan's focus is very simple. In the 11th shloka, 11th, 12th onwards, he says, Na anushochanti panditaha. So remember, Bhagwan calls that person Pandit who doesn't grieve upon anything in this world. Right? In this whole gamut of life, he doesn't grieve upon anything. Now remember, Na anushochanti panditaha, then that other definition which I said to you guys is that, Sah shochanti, sa na pandita. He is not a pandit, he is not a vidwan, he is not an intellectual who grieves upon things which keep coming on in life. So that's Bhagwan's definition. Now you see, Na anushochanti pandita, Bhagwan is using at different places. Tvam na shochitum arhasi. Tvam na shochitum arhati. Many shlokas Bhagwan is ending with this line. Because his focus is what? Arjun, you should reach that position where you stop grieving about anything which comes in this life, because you are nothing of what you understand yourself to be. You are something that supreme consciousness we are talking about. In the BMI chart I'll talk about, the supreme consciousness is denoted as Om. The remaining is denoted as Vasana, and below that body, mind and intellect, and so on and so on. So he says, Arjun, even if you understand yourself to be Jiva, a being, so what? You were before birth, before coming here, you were in an unmanifest state. Avyakta. That is the shloka where I left last time. Avyaktadini bhutani, vyakta madhyani bharata, avyakta nidhanan yeva, tatra ka paridevna. Even if you understand yourself to be that, so what, Arjun? You were in an unmanifest state. Any one of us will say one thing, I know I was there, but I don't know in which form. I may be human, I may be animal, I may be plant, I do not know which form I was. But I am very sure I am coming from somewhere else. Many things which I see as manifesting as my behavior in this life, I don't see from where I picked those up from. That is, it is coming from some other life. I may have been many lives I have taken in the past. I am coming from many different lives altogether. He said, no, Atha Chainam Nityajatam. You are the one who were born again and again. So you, in between you are there. Vyakta Madhyani. You are in a manifest state in between. Before this manifestation, you were what? Avyakta. You were in an unmanifest state. And after this life, Nidhanan means after this life is over, you will again go back into what? Unmanifest. So you were unmanifest, you became manifest in between, and you will again go back to unmanifest. So then what is there to grieve about? So that's the second level of people, second level of understanding which people have about them. Now I'll come to the third level. Now there is a reason I'm calling in that tone third level. They don't understand, many don't understand themselves to be the supreme consciousness. That's one side. They don't understand themselves to be Jiva also. Then what is the next level which is left? That is the level Bhagavan is going to come from the coming shloka onwards. He says, Arjun, that's okay. Even if you don't understand yourself to be Jiva, you understand yourself to be the third level is Deha Aham. I am what? This body. Right? I don't understand myself to be the supreme consciousness. That level is gone. That is like Bhagavan is talking about Mahatma, Vidwan and all those people Bhagavan called, those people who understand themselves to be that. The second level is, I understand myself as Jiva. Bhagavan saying, Arjun, if you don't understand yourself to be Jiva also, you will at least understand yourself to be Deha. That's the minimum you will understand. There is below that also, that Bhagavan will cover in the shlokas as 30 onwards. People who don't even understand themselves to be Deha also. Anyway, I'm going to come to that at when Bhagavan picks it up. Says, even Arjun, if you understand yourself to be Deha, your body, okay, let me just take that level of your understanding. Even if you understand yourself to be Deha, you know this body is born. This is easy to understand. You know around you also, everybody who is born has to go. This is the minimum you can see, that we don't need anybody else to teach us that. That's what we see around us also. That means you were born from somewhere, you are right now in this body, and you have to leave this body and go somewhere else. Now the unknown territory is, I don't know where I came from, I don't know where I am going to go. I am not touching that portion right now. Okay, leave that portion right now. Let's understand, even if you understand yourself to be body, what is there to grieve upon? Body will stay here only temporary for a period of time. It has come from somewhere, it will go somewhere. There is nothing else you can understand from the body. So Arjun, even if that is the case, what is there to worry? You are grieving about these people standing in front of you, no? Bhishma, Drona and all. They have come from somewhere. After this life, they will go somewhere else. Even if you consider themselves to be body also, the reason you don't have to grieve is, they have enough karmas in their life, enough good karmas in their life, that they are going to grow into a better life going forward. They are not going to go into demotion, they are not going to fall back into a inferior life. They are going to go into a superior life. So Arjun, you have nothing to grieve about that also. So these are three levels you need to understand. One is understanding yourself as supreme consciousness, which is the highest level. Okay, the Gita ji will teach us how to reach that level. The second level is, you understand yourself to be Jiva. Remember, when they understand themselves to be Jiva, they don't ignore the body. I am a Jiva and I have this body. And I have to give up this body after this life and acquire a new body. And the third level of understanding is, okay, even if I don't understand myself to be supreme consciousness, I don't understand myself to be Jiva also, I understand myself to be this body. The moment you understand yourself to be body, from there, a bigger plethora of differences start. What are the differences? If you are a body, there is a human being, there is animal, there is plant, species changes. Then, if you are a human being, you are a male, you are a female, and then all those differences starts. The third difference which starts is that I will be attached to one family, so I will have something called a caste, a creed, a religion. All those differences start. When you start identifying yourself as body. I told you at the level of supreme consciousness, so you are nothing. You don't even need to worry about. You are pervading in everyone. So if that is the understanding, that's fine. Even if you are Jiva, you have no difference between anybody, because as at the level of Jiva, you have no caste, no creed, no religion, not even the gender difference. Because one Jiva keeps, transferring himself or herself from one body to another to another. It may be any kind of Jiva, doesn't matter. I'll give you one example from Srimad Bhagavad. Srimad Bhagavad uses this word very clearly, that many people who are in male body in this life must have been coming from female body in the last. And many who are right now in this body may be transferring into some other body going forward. That depends on your liking and your interest and your attachment. Anyway, I'm not going to bring that difference here, but that's how Bhagavad talks about. There is one shloka which I'll bring out which Bhagwan Shankaracharya uses in something called Vivek Chudamani. Vivek Chudamani is a grantha, scripture written by Shankaracharya to explain the Vedantic concept. He says, Dehoham iti jadasya buddhi. Dehoham ityeva jadasya buddhi. Those people who understand themselves to be Deha means body, that's much Sanskrit, it's easy to understand. Deha as body. They have what? Gross mind and intellect. Jadasya buddhi. And says, Dehe cha jive cha vidushah tvam aham dhi. He says, those people who understand themselves to be Deha, one sitting in a Deha, but they are actually Jiva, I will call them actually Vidwan. Vidwan means I will call them intellectual. Their understanding is at least better. That's fine if they have not understood themselves to be supreme consciousness. That will come later on. So that's the level of understanding which we need to move forward in life. Now remember, if you are Jiva, what is the difference? If you are Atma, then I'm not talking about that. I'll come in the next shloka about that. If you are Jiva, understand yourself to be Jiva, and you understand that you have one body, there are three focus in your life which will always be there. One, what? Continue to do punya. Punya, why? Why will that Jiva try to do punya? So that at least I don't fall into inferior bodies in the coming lives to come. That's one thing that Jiva will take care. The reason I'm saying, because if your understanding is different, your efforts will differ according to your understanding. So your understanding, so will be your effort. Right? So, if you understand yourself to be Jiva, at least you will do what? Earn punya in life. You will do sat karma in life. You will cultivate sadguna in life. You will ensure that your bhog buddhi doesn't deteriorate from where you are. You will make all those efforts. But, if you are living at the level of Deha, then if you are living at the level of Deha, then? Very good. It will always be a self-centered life. It will always, you will associate, why? With those who give you happiness. Even if they are in relation with you, you will start disassociating with those who start giving you sorrow or start making you unhappy. Why? Your focus is what? The body and its surrounding and its happiness. Your focus will be that. I used one term in the last class. It is actually given by Tulsi Das ji. Tulsi Das ji says, is इस संसार में भांति भांति के जीव. Okay? तुलसी इस संसार में भांति भांति के जीव, सबको सुख बांटते चलिए, नदी नाव संयोग. Use the word. तुलसी इस संसार में भांति भांति के लोग, sorry, I will correct myself, भांति भांति के लोग सबको सुख देते चलिए, ए नदी नाव संयोग. I used that word last time. All our relationship is like what? Like river and boat. We are only co-passengers in this travel. So our effort should be what? We should also grow and let others also grow in life. Anyway, I'll come to that point. Now we will go into the 29th shloka where Bhagwan says, is if your understanding is all these three, now I'll talk about these three kind of people later on, but let me come to the actual core self-knowledge. He says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah, Ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti, Shrutvapyenam vedana chaiva kaschit. He says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Rare few who listen to this self-knowledge, understand and grasp this self-knowledge, rare few are able to see that self. When I use the word see that self, I told you it is beyond all senses. You cannot physically, it's not a physical seeing. Okay, whenever you hear the word see the self in Vedanta, you need to understand they are talking about realizing the self. Okay, realizing means seeing. I realize this means you're seeing this. So he says, rare few out of the people who had made efforts, who have understood this whole knowledge, rare few out of them see the self and they see it as a wonder, great wonder. Imagine Avinashi, Achintya, Aprameya. This scripture has defined the self in that way, and you start experiencing that self which is of that nature. What a wonder will be for that person who starts realizing this self. So he says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam. Rare few who sees it as a wonder when they realize the self. Then he says, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya. There are next rare few who, after understanding this self, remember, only that person who has understood the self only can talk about the self. So he says, rare few who has seen the self, amongst those rare few, because some who have seen the self or realized the self, they won't come to the world to discuss about it. They will sit in the seat of meditation and realize themselves, because they've already realized that self. And when they know there is nothing else apart from the self, what is there to see and talk about? So they will not come into the world to talk about the self. So he says, out of those rare few, actually, it's a wonder that rare few talks about that self. They are themselves wonder, I don't know what I'm talking about. Aprameya, Avinashi. And I'm saying it cannot be thought about, but I'm explaining it. I do not know which words are coming into my mouth and explaining that self which cannot be described at all. So he says, Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanya. There are rare few outside of that who explains this. It's a wonder that they're explaining about that self which is indescribable in actual nature. Then he says, Ascharyavat chainam anya shrinoti. And now out of that people, there are some rare few who with a wonder listen to what he is talking about. And I explained you, in the class we thought, this is very difficult and all those things. It's a wonder, what are we talking about? Self. There is one self which is common in all. And it is Sarvagata, Nityaha, Sthanu, Achaloyam, Sanatana. What word has been explained by a Bhagavad Gita itself to explain and expound upon that self. It's a wonder who listens to that. I don't know what they are talking about. Is there some kind of a self? Because the moment we talk about in this world, we talk about what these differences we see. That which we cannot comprehend, when we listen to this, it's a wonder for us only. Now, I'll use one word before I come to the next line. Whenever we start talking about Vedanta, everyone comes and asks us, rather than asking about themselves, they'll ask, can you explain what is creation? So, in this case also, whenever a student comes and asks to Guru that, can you explain what is creation? The Guru will say, forget about the creation for 1 minute right now. First tell me, who do you understand yourself to be? Creation will come later on. Remember, in the sequence of understanding, Vedanta says very clearly the level of understanding is Jiva, Jagat and Ishwar. What first? Jiva first. You have to understand yourself first. Because why? This creation needs to be understood with reference to you. Why I am saying that? If you understand yourself to be self, then what are others? The same self which you understand yourself to be. You can't be that, I am self, but rest are all are human beings. It can't be. If you understand yourself to be the self, rest all, or your understanding about the rest will also be the same. If you understand yourself to be Jiva, remember that, if you understand yourself to be Jiva, then for you others will also be the same. And when you get to that level of understanding yourself to be Jiva, you will not hurt plants and animals for your own benefit. Scripture talks very many things about food also, which will come in later chapters. I'll talk about that. Because you and others are the same being. All of you are living being. Your interaction with those beings will be different. If you understand yourself to be Jiva. If you understand yourself to be body, then that understanding which the world has. What they talk about, I'll tell you the literal statement they say. All the other beings in this world are for the benefit and enjoyment of human beings. This is the understanding which world is living with. Or animals are for what? For our food and our thing. And they say that, oh, all beings are our food only. What is the harm in killing them? They are meant for us. Because if your body, they are different, then you will see them from a different level altogether. So Bhagavan says, rather than understanding creation first, understand yourself first. So Arjun, drop the question about creation. So leave that creation for the moment. Because when the question of creation comes, then the next question which will also sprout out of that same question is that, if creation is done by God, why He created? Why is there so much of difference in this creation? You will never be able to understand the difference of creation. You have to understand yourself first. That's why it says Jiva first. Once you understand Jiva, then the next thing to understand for you is that Jagat. What is this world or this creation for you? And the third thing from there, once you understand both these, it will take you to the subtler topic which is called Ishvara or God. So the sequence of understanding is Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. What do you understand as Jiva? Whether you understand as Atma, or that Paramatma, whether you understand as Jiva only, whether you understand as Deha, that's a different thing. I'm not coming to that point. So Bhagavan says, Arjun, if you see this way, those people who have realized the self, it's a wonder for them. Those people who talk about the self which cannot be described, it's a wonder only. Those people who understand or listen to the self, for them also it's a wonder what is he talking about. Then he talks about the fourth category. And he does not use the word Ascharya over there. He uses Shrutvapi enam. Even after hearing about this, na cha eva veda kaschit. Many don't even come to know about it. That's okay. Normally that's the case. Self is a normal topic many must have spoken and expounded upon. But understanding is very difficult. I told you in life, these subtler topics can be understood only if there is something called sadhana in our life. I'm going to expound that now here before we move on to the next level where Bhagavan comes. Bhagavan says there is a below level of body also, which I'll come from the next shloka onwards. What is sadhana? I'll tell you that. Sadhana means aiming at someone. That you do aiming at something. What is your aim in life? If you understand yourself to be Jiva, of course I told you will do Satkarma, you will do, good Bhoga, you will do actually cultivate Sadguna and all those things because you want to grow. If you are Deha, your effort will be to please this body and at least manage something in life so that I don't fall below this. At least that much buddhi people will keep. Many will keep. Many don't even keep that much also. I'm not talking about that. So remember, sadhana is what? Is actually to make your M and I, which is currently focused towards the gross thing called body. And body is what? BMI is what? Forgot the chart. Perceiver. Body is what? Perceiver. Okay? And what is this? Is objects of what is the field of play? Objects. So body is perceiver and its field of play is objects. So what happens when the mind and intellect becomes gross? You will always be stuck between the perception and the objects. Right? You will not be able to grow above the object. See, Arjun's question is very clear here. Arjun says, Bhagwan, I am seeing myself as aham, esham, te mama. I belong to them and they belong to me. Okay? This is what Arjun's understanding is. And I am going to kill them because my relation with them is different. He thinks that I am fighting with relatives. He doesn't understand this fight is given to me. I didn't choose this fight. His struggle is what? He is not able to understand where his action is about. What his action is all about. So Bhagavan says, Arjun, you need to clarify in your mind first what is the level of understanding about you. He says, Arjun, this topic of self is definitely difficult. I don't say that at no at all. Because Shrutvapi enam, even after listening to this, many don't get the hold of this topic at all. It takes a lot of hard work, lot of sadhana to actually grasp this topic in detail. Then Shankaracharya ji is not happy with this explanation. So Shankaracharya ji explains in a little different way, Ascharya. He says, Atha va ya ayam atmanam pashyati sa ascharya tulyo. Rather than saying those who realize the self, they see it as a wonder, he turns the table the other way around. Rare few seeing or realizing the self, it's a wonder for those who have not realized the self. This self is so difficult to explain. Here are some few who have already realized it. When we see realized masters, there is a different glow of a realized master. Unless and until you come across, you won't know. Many people who studied or who had been with Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanand, they speak about that. When he used to sit with us, he used to talk like one of us. But even while talking, we knew very well that he is very different from all of us. What is the difference? He is placed very well in the self. That one who is placed in the self, even in your conversation, those conversations which are new in nature to him also and to others also, his interpretation and his way of interaction is completely different. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, wonder it is that those people who have realized the self. Then Shankaracharya says, wonder is those who talk about those self. And it is a wonder that there are some people who listen about the self. Listening is also a wonder. Everybody cannot listen, everybody cannot place their attention, everybody cannot do it. Even after going to a place to listen also, you cannot catch your attention. Why? It's not easy. He says, then Shrutvapi enam na veda kaschit. There are many who do not know. That's a normal level of people I don't want to talk about. Now, this is the end of topic what Bhagwan has done up to that level, talking about, expounding about the self. Now Bhagwan says, Arjun, I see that you may not have understood yourself to be that also. That's why I said, I'm coming to one more level. Now, there are many people who don't even consider themselves to be Deha also. They consider themselves to be the positions attached to it. I'm using the word positions for a purpose. What are the positions you can think of?
Husband, wife.
Very good. Very good. Chairman, managing director, I'm a captain, I'm a colonel, I'm a principal, I'm a teacher. All those are designations. They consider themselves to be that designation. Even Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra and Brahmana is what? Designation. I am born in a Kshatriya family. If somebody says that, Kshatriya is what? Your designation. Right? Arjun, if you have not understood yourself to be the self-supreme consciousness, okay, you have not understood yourself to be, Jiva also, you have not understood yourself to be Deha also. The minimum understanding you have, you consider yourself Kshatriya or not. Right? Arjun is talking to Bhagwan about war, na? So which means what? That much Bhagwan is sure that his understanding of Kshatriya is definitely there, even if the other understandings may not be there. Kshatriya you are, na? Now Bhagwan comes at that level. Even if you understand yourself to be that, Arjun, why you have to grieve? Why? Because Kshatriya is a duty assigned to you because of the family you are born in. You are born to fight. Then, if you are born to fight, then fighting is what? Your swadharma. You heard this word? Swadharma. Swadharma means अपने आश्रम के हिसाब से हमारा जो धर्म है उसको स्वधर्म कहते हैं. Whichever ashram means not the ashram as in the outside ashram. There are 4 ashrams we talk about: Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. All the 4 ashrams have got their different dharma. A sannyasi cannot behave like a grahastha. A grahastha cannot become a vanaprastha. The point is, at least understand your swadharma well and act according to it. What is happening here is, when Arjun will listen, when it comes to the 54th shloka, I'll talk about. Arjun, when Bhagwan will expound about all these things, Arjun will start getting interested in sannyas dharma. Suddenly. Because, he has already had his bent of mind. I am not interested in fighting, Tell me something I can do without fighting And remember, Arjun also says one more thing there. He says that, without fighting, if I'm able to lead my life, Bhagwan tell me that, I'm happy to do it right now. I don't care even if these people talk at the back. What they talk about me doesn't matter. I'll go and sit under a tree and I will meditate. Bhagwan says, Arjun, you think it is so easy? You will go sit under a tree and meditate and you realize. Go. Show me how you do that. See, please remember, all these ashrams are training grounds for us to reach the next ashram. Now I will use one word here. If brahmacharya ashram is obeyed well, I'm using the word purposively, and I use this in many youth places also when I spoke about. When brahmacharya ashram is what? When I say brahmacharya ashram means, brahmacharya actual means celibacy, but the purpose is saying very clear there, your focus should be only on one thing. What? Acquiring knowledge. That ashram is meant to acquire knowledge. Why do you need to acquire knowledge? Very good. So that you can lead a comfortable life going forward. If for God forbid, which if I see around, that's what is happening, because our cultural knowledge is missing from the stream, So nobody taught the students what to do or anything. If you see the school and colleges today, I do not know, they are doing many, I'm not talking about all, there are very bright students also, many are doing everything except studying. And do you think that when they pass out of the college, their life will be easy? They have acquired nothing. They have lost that time of brahmacharya in other endeavors. Now remember, what happens is, that time is not for bhoga. That time is only your sadhana time for studies. If you utilize that period well, you will be well equipped to move comfortably into the next ashram, which is grahastha. Okay, then remember, what is the background there? Background is not only the college education alone. The background is this scriptural spiritual education also, because in that process of acquiring education, you have the opportunity to know about yourself also. Now remember, if you know yourself well and you move into grahastha ashram, remember, you will never get stuck in grahastha ashram alone. I'm using the word purposefully and I'm marking and underlining my word. See, in the spree of announcing our country to be secular, we have actually destroyed our culture completely. Everybody is doing in every ashram everything. There is no boundary at all. These ashrams were defined or were divided in such a way to create their own boundaries, so that one ashram should prepare you in such a way that you automatically fall into the next ashram. Now, grahastha ashram is supposed to be such, if led correctly with proper swadharma, grahastha ashram will automatically lead you to the vanaprasth. And vanaprasth, doesn't matter which life you go into that, I'm not talking about that. Vanaprasth should automatically lead you into sannyas. There are rare few I'm talking about, because I use the shloka Ascharya, I can use that. There are rare few who realize that in the brahmacharya life itself, that there is no point going to grahastha and vanaprasth. The purpose of life is that, because it's not something cultivated in this life, it's coming from some previous life of theirs. They may have already gone through grahastha and on vanaprasth in some other lives. So from brahmacharya, they go directly into sannyas. I'll give you a glimpse of our Gurukul system, which used to be there before. First 9-10 years, or rather 14 years, a kid used to be in Gurukul, away from home. And Gurukul used to be in, some forests and some, remote areas and all. Child had no access to home except once a year. Why? Because his period of love is gone. From the 6th year onwards, up to 13, 14, they used to stay in Gurukul. In the Gurukul, they were taught everything. Now remember, when I use the word everything, people put down our ancient education system, but they are actually stupids to talk like that. Our education system was so good. they used to expand their memory by giving them what? Every day morning kid has to get up and chant Vedas. I've gone to Gurukul now also in Kerala. I have seen 5-year-old kids sitting next to a pool there and chanting Vedic mantras in just dhoti around. It's so cute at 5 a.m. in the morning. And they say that 3:30 a.m. they are supposed to wake up, take a dip in the pond, and then come back here, sit around that and chant the whole Vedic stotras over there. Why? The child's mind is not grown enough to understand the meaning. But he has got a mind. If it is not fed with the right things, it will start capturing wrong things. So they are given what? They are given you chant mantra. By the age of 6 and 7, most of the Vedas is in their mind. Without seeing the Vedic books, they can chant. Their chanting becomes so good. And when they all sit together and chant, see, I'm saying itself, I'm getting horripilation. So I know what I felt when I sat there. So it is kept in such a way that from that first 2 years, it's only memorizing. Just close your eyes and memorize. And Sanskrit has got a beauty. Those people who chant and can understand and can read Sanskrit and do read Sanskrit on a daily basis, it says it expands your mind. It expands your intellect. That's the power of Sanskrit as a language also. That even many colleges in Germany and others have also come up with a research. I don't have to say that. But anyway, so they've memorized that. From 8th year onwards, they will be made to sit down and they will start explaining slowly, gradually. And then in the next 2-3 years, they will see the potential of the kid and will decide which kid will go into which line of actual science. So some may be good at medicine and all, so they will be put into Ayurveda. Some may be good in architecture, they will be converted that. See, an acharya decides upon the construct of the child who is good in what. Right now, so I don't even talk about it. Culture is not taught. So a child has got so much memorizing power and the education system is not concentrating on that. So they are picking up everything which is available to them. Television, serial, mobile, everything they will pick up. Because it's the phase of their understanding. Once after the brahmacharya is over, and Guru will call them and ask, what do you want to do next? So some will say, I want to go back home. I want to just follow what my parents says. You go into Grahastha ashram. Rare few will say, we don't see any point going ahead. We want to continue learning about the self. Guru will say, come here and sit. You are ready for Atma Vidya. Those people, they will be taught, who will become then further acharyas and all those things. And they move from brahmacharya directly to sannyas. This is how our ashram system was meant. So Bhagavan asked Arjun, now tell me, what is your understanding about yourself? You've not understood all those three, so let's come to the shloka where Bhagavan says, Arjun, even if you don't understand yourself to be that and you understand yourself to be this, still there is nothing to worry about. Still there is nothing to grieve about. We'll go to the 30th shloka and we'll read this. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Sorry, Bhagavan is talking about summarizing the last few shlokas here. It's not the new one, and I misunderstood that. So he says, Arjun, of all that which I taught to you till 29th, dehi nityam avadhyoyam. If you understand yourself to be the self, jiva, or any of these things, you need to understand amongst all the bodies, there is one sitting called dehi. And that dehi is how he can never be killed. Avadhyoyam. Avadhyoyam means he can never be killed, he can never be destroyed, he can never reach a level of destruction at all. So he says, Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam, Arjun, understand that the Dehi sitting in all these bodies is Avadhya. Avadhya means he cannot be destroyed at all. And how is this Dehi? Sarvasya Dehe, He Bharata, that Dehi sitting in all these bodies is commonly. There is no different Dehi. You see, Dehi is singular, whereas Dehe Sarvasya is actually Bahuvachan. Oh, see, that's the way you need to understand. Because Deha is many, but Dehi is what? One. And he addresses Arjun with the word, Hey Bharata. I touched this point in the last class also. our actually country name was Bharata. I do not know why we became India later on. I used that word last time. Bhasi Rataha iti Bharata. That place, that country, where people, majority of them, live in the light of knowledge. Bhasi means in the light of knowledge. Whose mind is illuminated with knowledge. That is what this country was assigned as. Then it became Hindustan, because that was divided as Sindhu Nadi ke is par became Hindustan and all those things. Even many people have got allergy to call this as Hindustan also, because that will then Hindu word. No, many people are allergic to Hindu also. I'm not talking about that. So I think they coined a different word called India. I'll use one word here. It's Bhagwan Krishna's grace. Our podcast actually has reached almost 1,70,000 plays till now, and there are 10,000 plus people who are following it also on Spotify alone. I'm talking about. But the reason I brought that up is not to bring that number. When I see the statistics, I see amongst the audience, 82% are from India. You see, in this country, the beauty of this country is that there are enough people who are looking for knowledge in this country even today. That's fine that Britishers cut our culture off and we got disconnected from the whole thing. I'll bring out certain beauties of this Bharata only right now here. That you see, this country is such where so many different philosophies came, stayed, and are still being circulated. This is one country. That's the beauty of this country. Why? At this level of this country, our country people were always those people who liked things which are knowledge, which are pertaining to knowledge. I'm talking about Kabir Das ji here. He used to stay in Kashi. He used to talk wrong things about Murti Puja, but he was never crucified in this country. He was never hanged in this country. I'm using the word for a purpose. Our country has got this beauty that out of knowledge we respect everyone. There may be different conflicting interests. There may be conflicting in understandings. We respect all of them. Why? That is what the power of this country is all about. There is a lot of discussion now going about that we should again coin this country back to Bharata, because then so the name, so should the country become. We should always respect knowledge. This country has always been like that. Kashi mein he used to talk against Murti Puja, Kabir Das ji. There were a sect of people. Kashi is a complete zone of puja and all, worship and all. Still, there were people who were against Kabir Das ji, but no one actually hurt him or did anything wrong to him. There were followers of Kabir Das in there also. This is one country which respects knowledge in such a way that many philosophies are born here. Bauddha, born in India. Jain, born in India. Where should I talk about? What should I talk about? So many religions, so many philosophies have been born in India. They were bred in India, and there are followers from India who even still carrying it that way. That used to be the power of this country. That's why Bhagwan uses the word Arjun. He calls Arjun, addresses Arjun, hey Bharata. There were people who were called Bharata. Arjun, I know you not just as a Yodha. I know you as a man who thinks over everything. I know you as a man who has got a brain of his own, who has got an intellect of his own. He will not jump into anything haphazardly just because somebody said I will jump into it. You are not such a person. You are a very well thought after, balanced at the level of mind and intellect. Remember one thing, Arjun shared his grief and sorrow with Bhagwan. He didn't decide to run away from there on his own. What would have stopped him? Think over it for a while. It was a war field. Rather than saying all these things, Arjun should have just kept the Gandhi and gone. And probably Bhagwan may have ran after him. What are you doing, Arjun? They could have done that. But he didn't do it. Why? He said, I want an answer which intellectually convinces me. that this fight is not going to take me down, it is going to take me also up towards my goal, and it is also going to lead better for the people around. What he immediately saw is that this war is going to bring so many deaths and destruction. Who will give answer to all these things? So he says, Arjun, Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam. Remember one thing, hey Bharata, the Dehi, the self which is sitting in all these bodies, Sarvasya Dehe, that self is what? Is Avadhyoyam. It cannot be killed, it cannot be destroyed. Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani. Arjun, if this is the law of this entire nature, if this is how this nature is built, if this is how things function, then natvam shochitum arhasi. Still you don't deserve to be sorrowful. It doesn't befit you at all, Arjun. There is no reason for you to sorrow. So, till now, Bhagwan has actually completely, finalized his whole thing, what he said from 11 onwards in this 30. 31 onwards is what I was saying, that he's shifting his gear and talking and taking Arjun to a different level of understanding. He says, Arjun, understood, you may not have understood yourself to be Dehi, you may not have been understood yourself to be Atma, you may not have understood yourself to Deha also. Now let's go to the next level. 31st shloka Bhagwan says, स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याधियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याधियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. Arjun, even if you understand yourself to be not all those things but a Kshatriya, because you are carrying a bow and arrow. You are sitting on this chariot with me. And I am actually the Sarthi of you. That means you have come to fight. Even if you don't understand all those things, 3 things I spoke about, you understand yourself to be Kshatriya. Still, don't you think it is your Swadharma to fight? Don't you think? Swadharma means it's your duty. Huh? Now remember one thing. Sanatan Dharma teaches only one thing very clearly. It's fine if you don't understand yourself to be the supreme consciousness. It's fine. It takes time to grasp those things to reach that level of understanding. If you don't understand yourself to be Jiva also, it's okay. It will come naturally to you if you continually work hard towards it. But even if you understand yourself to be Deha or the position which you are, Kshatriya or whatever position you have acquired in life, husband, wife, kid, whatever. Remember, your focus should be only on one thing. What? Your Swadharma. That's why Sanatan Dharma has got one more adjective to it. It's called, it's a duty-bound culture. There are some kids also who come to us and say that, I love this self-knowledge so much that I see no point in studying, going forward with further things. I see that, why don't I just continue this, but my parents don't agree. There are kids who come to us also like that, I don't want to continue this education now. I am so, there are some people who have sent, you can see certain comments which have pinned on the Spotify also. There are many comments which people have put up. There are some people who come and say, I don't see any purpose going forward. If this is what we have to go, why don't I start now? So I tell them only one thing. Please remember, you are not sitting in a Gurukul right now. If you go to your parent and you say that, somebody he was talking something on the podcast, now I want to leave everything and go, parent will stop your internet connection first. He will make sure that you don't even listen to that. Don't do that. Now, you should look at life from where you are. Don't assume life from what it's supposed to be and jump over there. Look at life from where you are. Where you are right now a student. For example, I told that person, you are right now a student. And what? Your family has got expectation from you. So then what is your Swadharma? You have to meet that expectation. If you want to study some other stream, have a discussion with your or parents. Take their opinion first. Listen to them. Don't end up fighting with them and revolt and then go out. You will be on your own. How will you survive? This world, you need money and other things also to survive, no? So what will you do then? So I said that to that person, that please remember, you have to understand your Sadharma first. I say, you have got an interest in self-knowledge, devote some time of yours into that. Run parallelly. Don't just drop and go. He told that this is where the path to go. We'll all go to sannyas. That doesn't work like that. Next day, they may not even allow me to come to Chandigarh also that way. If everybody start doing like that. So purpose is very clear. Look at the life from where you are. You have to make your way from your point of view first. You have some duty. It's a duty-bound culture. You have to do your duty. And spirituality is supposed to go parallelly. Till when? No. Remember, spirituality says one thing very clearly. You cannot drop your actions throughout your life. You have to continue to do it. Then, what is sannyas all about? When you are ready, I'm using the word, mark my words, when you are ready, actions will themselves move away from you. You will be freed automatically.
So it can happen in a young age also?
Any age it can happen. I just said that a few minutes before. It can happen in any age. Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, anywhere it can happen. So, the best thing is that many people consider, and that's why spirituality has got some bad name also from people, that people think spirituality is escapism. It's not. I said, Arjun also will say in the upcoming shlokas that Bhagwan, I am very interested in what you're talking about. I want to leave all this and go and take sannyas. Bhagwan says, go and take. You will do more action sitting in sannyas there than other people. You cannot drop your actions. Actions have to drop you. And that is a gradual process. That's why Sanatan Dharma has got another name. It's a duty-bound culture. Very clear, from your and through your duty is your path for growth. Okay? What is I said? From and through your duty is your path to growth. Do your duty well. Trust me, if you have done your duty well, I'm not saying for everyone, if you have done your duty well, trust me, there will be a time which will come when duties will themselves say, thank you very much, you did a lot, we are already, grateful to you, now please leave us alone, and then you go your way and then they go their path. So that's the process in Sanatana Dharma. Bhagavan says, Arjun, even if you see, cha aveksha, even if you see your duty, there is nothing to worry about. Vikampitu means nothing to tremble about, the way you are trembling right now. He says, Vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate, gandivam samsate hastat, tvakchaiva paridahir. In the first chapter he spoke about that my gandiv is slipping from my hand, my body is shivering, I can't stand. So he said, there is nothing to, shake from these things. What are you talking about? Even if you look at your swadharma, there is nothing to worry about. Dharmyadi yuddha shreyonyat. There is no better way to grow in life than doing your dharma. For Kshatriya it is what? Yuddha. I used one word in one of the sessions, I don't remember which one. A Kshatriya who attains death or dies in the battlefield, they get Swarga. Bhagavan will say that in the next sloka also here. He goes to Swarga. Very clear. Depending upon his past actions, he will definitely go to Swarga. That is, see, battlefield, the way battlefield is for Kshatriya, that is why the duty field is for others. Very clear. I don't mean that you die doing your duty, shoot someone and all this. That's not what I meant. Don't take it literally also. But that what battlefield, and trust me, actually, duty is also a battle in itself, by the way. I don't have to say that you all know it very well. You know it very well that duty itself is a battle. How many things we have to fight? It's like a fight every day. Every day we have to plan, we have to fight somebody, we have to put something else, we have to do something else, we have to overlook something. So many things we have to do in our duty. Duty is a constant battle. Why should I say that? Duty is a constant battle actually. Even for a sannyasi also, he has left everything and gone, but he does the work of God. So he teaches so many people out of what? Out of his devotion to his God. And then if he starts teaching, Maya begins. He has to take care of the students, their questions. He is a sannyasi. He may have realized the self, but he comes back. When Gurudev left, Uttarkashi from Swami Tapovanji, Gurudev said that, to Swami Tapovanji, that Gurudev, he used to call Swami Tapovanji Gurudev. Gurudev used to call Swami Tapovanji Gurudev. He says, Gurudev, there is so much need for this knowledge in the plains. I want to go to the plains and teach them. So Swami Tapovanji told him, please remember, you cannot teach everyone. Student have to come to you. Teacher doesn't go to the student. Teacher only makes themselves available. And remember, when you go to the plain, don't get stuck in the plain. I will not stop you from going, go. If in your first lecture, there are not 3 people also in that lecture, including you, just come back to Himalayas. Don't teach. You will see that as a God's indication. And the first lecture of Puja Gurudev, there were 4 people including him. And he continued. And that's where I am sitting here because of Chinmay Mission. No? Because Chinmay Mission and had taught me, I am sitting here. So such a big mission came up. They spread Vedanta in such a way. So this is how the function works. You just concentrate on your duty. The duty will leave you after a point in time. So he says that rather than for a Kshatriya, battle is the best Shreyas action. Shreyas means that action which is going to uplift you into the next thing. Kshatriyasya na vidyate. There is nothing better than a battle for a Kshatriya. Rest we will see in the next class. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanaeti samarpayami श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम तत्सत्।